Hello everyone, welcome back to In My Shed. I'm BC, quieting down so I can get a bit of video out. I had a call from a subscriber from Hungary of all places, slotter tools. I've got a few here that we'll have a look at later on, but first a little bit of general info. Just a general slipstone. It's dark grey, it's silicon carbide, so it'll grind most materials. Silicon carbide grain is very, very pointy, it's very hard, but it's also very fragile. Most of your bench stones, especially those provided by hardware stores, are a black or dark grey material. That's silicon carbide. Grind steels, but it'll also grind stainless steels, and you can use it on non-ferrous materials. This is what I look on the packet. Combination stone, aluminium oxide on all steels, much more so than silicon carbide, and also the bond is a fair bit harder, so you get quite good. This would be the go. Very, very good product. And for finishing the tools, or hand lap 20 grit, pretty dear. I think they're about $14.50 each, but they work extremely well. You get a very, very good finish. That's a 1/2 inch slotting tool that we'll zoom in on later. That's used on the slotting head. Hurting fingers when sharpening these tools wasn't much fun, so I've got an old tool holder. It's a wall slides down a ramp. The other side holds the tool, and you use it on very many different sizes. Made up a few tool holders from a model engineering design. You can see that it's drilled in at 7 degrees, so grinding the tool flat gives you a 7-degree rake on the top. I used a 1/4 inch, but drills normally drill a little bit oversized, and it makes it a beautiful sliding transition fit for rub screw in the side to lock it. And I've got a 55-degree threading tool one side, turn it over 60-degree the other side. Slotting or grooving tools, or minor part off or threading, very, very cheaply. Never got the finish. Also in this lot, this is a squaring tool I use in a slotter too, or any sliding machine parts you want, so I'll zoom you in on that later on. It's also very easy to make on the tool and cutter grinder. Ground them off hand, but when I look at the finish on the side, they've definitely been made on a TNC grinder. So I'll bring you in. You can. Boy, this new camcorder once again comes up good. I think the audio is really surprising. The Walton tool holder. Now the makeup of these tools, 2 degrees on the top and about 7 degrees rake angle on the back, and don't make these tools too aggressive. They're a little bit iffy when you're not very experienced, as they are. Taking out keyways for axles in locomotives, it'll chomp away quite happily at them. See if I can rotate it to give you a slightly better look. It wobbles around. Okay. That's a very handy tool that I put in the slotter for making square holes. It's a piece of 1/4 inch round tool steel, and the bottom is ground away for the rake angle. That slots a hole out square very, very good sideways. I do lay out the square first with a bit of layout ink and a scriber, and that's a closer look at the hand lapping stick. It gives a really good honed edge on a high-speed steel tool to me, and that's a close-up. Okay, here we are back at Mr. Rongfu. It's a close-up of the tool bit. You can see the way that it's going. And there's the workhead. Quite a simple device. I've taken off the revolving tool bit holder with a couple of side bolts. Very, very simple affair, and you come free usually with the V in it that's slid in there for the smaller tools. Now that's the slotting tool I had over. It is still in the slotter from when I last used it. Okay, you can rotate, simple as, if you unclamp it, it's just rotating the device like that, and the base can be loosened off and rotated to give you a draft angle or your side clearance. So on this grinder, to grind the other side of the tool, so it can mean positioning it, and it can be a little bit of a pain in the bum. but it does work. Do a corner cutter for making square holes. You would only rotate at 90 degrees and come back in. So reasonably easy. Right, here we are at the back of the Clarkson workhead. Big heavy duty indexer, and keep in mind that this has a micrometer scale and an adjustable height. Okay, this unit I haven't got one set up, but for what we're talking about it doesn't matter. And to get your flat on one side, and that will be for the top of the tool, rotate around 90 degrees, draft, hold against the finger, that will give you the angle on the other side. A little bit higher on one side will give you more clearance, a little bit lower will give you less clearance. Now when you go back to on the opposite, on the indexer to give you the actual clearance angle, and then wind the tool across the face of the grinder. The axis of the workhead will give you the end clearance when you grind that. So using machines like this, often what I have done in the past is leave a millimetre or two at the end of the tool with no clearance, and that allows you to get a